Okay, scholars, this is our listen and respond for this week. So we are reading. Actually, can we turn this light out because it's really bright? Okay, we're reading The Man in the Mist. So here is our cover of our story. I see a guy. I see a creepy guy in a red hat with a lantern. And then let's look at the back. Zach is 10 years old. He lives with his grandpa. One day, Grandpa gets very sick. When Zach goes to seek help, he meets a wizard. Strangely, the wizard already knows that Zach's grandpa is sick. He offers to cure his grandpa, and in return, Zach must go on a quest. He must find 10 magic gems. Zach sets off with his friend Finn. How will they find the magic gems? Will they find them in time to save Grandpa? Okay, so go ahead and write your stuff at the top. Make sure your name is at the top. Make sure today's date is. It's either the 2nd or the 3rd, depending on when you're doing this. And the title is The Man in the Mist. Make sure you capitalize because it's a title. Okay. And we are ready to preview our story. So we need to be making sure we're writing in college-ready sentences, and we use evidence to support our thinking. So preview. Readers always collect clues before they get started reading. Look at the front and back covers of the book before you start reading or listening to the story and fill in the chart below. What do you think this book is going to be about? Why do you think this? I think this book will be about blank. I think this because blank. So right here you can either have I saw it on the cover, or I read it on the back. Okay, so those are the two options. You can have both if you have two ideas here. So you're telling me what you think this book is going to be about based off of what you see on the front cover and what you read on the back. Okay? The next thing we're going to be looking for are the characters and the setting. Readers know that understanding the characters and setting of a story helps them to better understand what's going on in the story. Here we're listing the names of the characters, and here we're listing what we know about them. It might help you to think of inner traits and outer traits. Remember, inner traits are on the inside. You have to tell by actions, and outer traits are on the outside. You can look at someone and see them. All right, let's get started reading. The Man in the Mist. Chapter 1, Get Up. Zach is in bed. His pet kid is on the bed. The sun is up. Get off the bed! Get off the bed, kid! Zach sits up. Grandpa, get up! Grandpa is not well. Grandpa cannot sit up. So I think we have at least one character. We have the boy, Zach, and we have the grandpa. So you can put those guys on here. I think I'm going to wait and do another character that's coming up. I think they may be easier to talk about. So let's keep going. Zach sets off. Zach is sad. Grandpa is not well. Grandpa is his kin. I will get help. I will get the wagon. I can fix it to the nag. A nag is another word for horse, in case you were wondering about that. Let's go ahead and pause here because I think we need to talk about the setting. So the setting of a story is where the story takes place. So your setting is always going to be a location, like a place that you can go. So if you need to write that down to help you remember that, I would do that there. The setting of this story is at blank. Where are they at? What's going on? So then now we have make a prediction. A prediction is when readers guess what might happen next in the story. What do you think might happen next? So this is like the form that I have here. It has blanks in here that you guys can use to write your answer, and it has sentence starters to help us know what to put in each blank. So blank has happened in the story, so something I think might happen next is blank. Whatever we put here is going to be the same. You're copying this from this video, so whatever we write here, everybody's will be the same. Down here is where you will come up with your answer, but make sure that whatever you write here matches what happens here. You wouldn't say like, the little girl went to sleep has happened in the story, so something I think might happen next is she will go to sleep. because she's already asleep. That wouldn't be something that you would do. What is something normally you would do if you went to sleep? Well, she might have a dream. She might wake up. Those are some examples of things that could happen next based off of what you know about what's already happened. So if you know someone went to sleep, a normal thing that would happen next is they could have a dream. They could wake up. So those are pretty typical things that happen next. So you're coming up with what you think might happen next. So what we're going to write here, and make sure you copy what I have, is, let's see, Zach goes to town to get help for Grandpa. So you're going to have this copy down. If you have one of the papers that don't have it already written on here, I'm going to spell it for you. Zach, Z-A-K, goes, G-O-E-S, to, T-O, town, T-O-W-N, to, T-O, get, G-E-T, help, H-E-L-P, for, F-O-R, Grandpa, G-R-A-N-D-P-A. So now our sentence says, Zach goes to town to get help for Grandpa has happened in the story. So something I think might happen next is blank. So you are filling in the second half with your answer based off of what we wrote here. So what do you know about riding on a carriage like Zach is riding on? What do you know about town? What do you know about getting help? That's what you're using to help you decide what goes in this blank. Let's keep reading and see what we need to work on next. Zach and the kids set off in the dim fog. It is cold and wet. Chapter 3, The Man in the Mist. A man in the fog. Will the man rob him? Ooh, spooky. Can I get on the wagon? The man asks. The man has a big red hat. Zach and the man set off. The man is odd. The man has a box on his lap. So I'm going to pause because I think that this guy is pretty important. So I'm going to put the old wizard guy. We don't know his name. So that's how I'm going to describe him. So if you'll notice, I left both blanks blank for each character. You are telling me 2 traits about each character. So you should have all 4 of these spots filled in with your description of each character. The next thing that we need to work on is visualization. Readers always think about how this story might look in their heads. Readers make a mind movie about what they are reading, and they see the story in their head. So what do you think this part might look like? I'm imagining the part in the story where blank is happening. I'm imagining it looks like blank. 3 things to describe this are blank, blank, blank. Okay, so right now we're going to fill this in. Remember, yours is going to match mine exactly right here on this line. So I'm imagining the part in the story where Zach lets the wizard ride in the wagon. So now you will have this on your paper. I'm going to spell it for you. Make sure you're ready to write. If you need to pause or rewind, that's fine. Zach, Z-A-K, lets, L-E-T-S, the, T-H-E, wizard, W-I-Z-A-R-D, ride, R-I-D-E, N-I-N, the, T-H-E, wagon, W-A-G-O-N. So now our sentence says, I'm imagining the part in the story where Zach lets the wizard ride in the wagon is happening. I'm imagining it looks like blank. In this blank, this is where you can describe it with one word. So I'm going to write that in parentheses, one word. This is where you can say, oh man, this looks weird. This looks cool. It looks neat. It looks scary. This is where your one-word descriptions go, on this blank only. So you're going to come up with what you think this looks like. Down here, you're giving me 3 things to describe what you see. So when it says describe, that means tell about. You don't just say it looks weird or funny or cool. What does weird or funny or cool look like? What do you see happening that lets you know something looks weird or something looks funny or something looks cool. To me, like my definition of cool could be different than your definition of cool. What do you see happening that you know that you see is telling you that this is cool? You see that's telling you it's weird. So, for example, I see the old wizard has a treasure chest. So I see this happening. I see that he's old. That helps me to make a picture in my brain. Oh, this guy's old. I see the word wizard. That helps me make a picture in my brain. Oh, he's probably got a hat, like a tall witch hat. Probably got flowy robes. Maybe a medallion. I don't know. And he has a treasure chest. Oh, a treasure chest. That makes me think of a specific type of box. It's not just like an Amazon box. It's a treasure chest. It's shaped differently. It has different types of things inside of it. So right here, you're trying to come up with things that help build a picture in your brain so that you can imagine it as it's happening rather than just read it. So what are some other things you might see happening at this part in the story? So you're going to tell me about them here. You need to come up with 2 things, okay? Let's keep reading and see what happens next. Chapter 4, The Odd Man. The man has a belt. It is a big belt. It is odd. A pet rat is in the box. The man hums and pats his rat. Okay, that's weird. Didn't see that coming. The wagon jogs on. Is the man bad? Can Zach get rid of him? Okay, so this book is kind of ending us on a cliffhanger. We would have to read the next book to see what happens next. So we're ready to go to our summarize section now. Readers, think about the most important parts of a book. In your own words, give me a summary of the story you just listened to. The story blank talks about blank. In the beginning of the story, blank. After that, blank. In the end of the story, blank. So if you'll notice, when I read through this to show you the sentence stems, I didn't read what was in the parentheses here or here. That's because when we have things in parentheses like this, it's not supposed to be read aloud. It's just kind of giving you information. So in this case, it's telling me that I need to write the title of the story on that blank. So the story, The Man in the Mist, talks about, oh, here I need to write characters. Okay, Zach, Grandpa, and the odd, let's just put the wizard. Those are the characters. Then it wants us to tell what happened in the beginning of the story, the middle, and the end. We're just taking the most important parts. Zach woke up in the beginning of the story, yes, but that's not really the most important part of the beginning. In the beginning of the story, Zach's grandpa is sick. So that's the most important part of the beginning. What is the most important part of the middle, and what's the most important part of the end? You're going to fill those 2 in. When you're finished with this, make sure your name is on it and then turn it in to me. If you finish that, you need to move on to word work. And then if you finish with that, you may do Lexia or IXL. Please raise your hand if you have any questions.